here today to talk about infrastructure.
Building back better.
To build back better. To build back better.
To build back better.
Build back better.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Shadow Wreckardz. I'm Scott. I wanted to give you a quick update on a story I did a few weeks ago. That story was about how the firing of Tucker Carlson by Fox News and the hiring of Dylan Mulvaney by Anheuser-Busch and Nike were indeed sacrifices to the same God. Now clearly I was using the term God metaphorically. What I was trying to convey is that these corporations, which are clearly taking massive financial hits due to these decisions, must know something about the future that makes them believe they will need the support of the globalists and New World Order pushers such as BlackRock, George Soros and his many fake philanthropic organizations, and in my opinion, our own current president, Joe Biden. Now before we continue, let the record show that this house is a rental and I was not responsible for this wallpaper. That being said, I fully own up to the cold day old coffee. So I wanted to point out this article on Zerohedge. It was actually written by Brandon Smith for altmarket.us. Brandon comes to a very similar conclusion to the one I came to after researching this phenomenon. ESG dystopia. Why corporations are doubling down on woke even as they lose billions. It's been a bloodbath for the majority of companies that go overtly woke in the new era of American consumer rebellion, and the establishment is not happy. Corporations like Disney, Anheuser-Busch, and Target are plunging in profits and losing billions in market cap after pledging fealty to the trans agenda. What the heck is fealty?
Fealty.
Fealty, a feudal tenant's or vassal's sworn loyalty to a lord. Formal acknowledgement of loyalty to a lord. You know what that reminds me of? The firing of Fox's most popular host, Tucker Carlson, and Bud Light's ill-conceived Dylan Mulvaney ad campaign are indeed sacrifices to the same God. You might want to check out that video. In particular, the public is setting out to make examples of institutions that support trans indoctrination of children. Simply put, a line in the sand has been crossed. Let's hope so. The media is claiming that this movement is a form of economic terrorism. That is to say, if you refuse to support the woke hive mind with your wallet, you should be considered a domestic enemy. Let's get to the part where this author validates what I was saying in my video about Tucker Carlson and Dylan Mulvaney. Now he talks about ESG scores, which is something I did not talk about. ESG scores are basically something that mega funds like BlackRock can use to control corporate behavior under the guise of social justice. The higher your ESG score, the more likely it is that you will qualify for access to debt. Cheap debt. But what happens in a world where consumer loyalty is no longer a guarantee and the public stops buying from chains that promote woke concepts? What happens when going woke also means going broke? Is ESG cash really worth losing half your customers or more? The author goes on to say, well, not right now it isn't. As central banks raise interest rates and cut their balance sheets, the easy money part that started back in 2008 is ending. After a decade of exponential growth, ESG is now in steep decline. And this is directly tied to the policies of central banks like the Federal Reserve. In the past year, it is no longer viable to dump money into mostly useless woke projects. Yet, the woke trend continues. Why? 20 years ago, the name of the game in the business world was brand building. Now corporations are actually willing to destroy the very brands they spent so much time and money developing, all in the name of political idolatry. It seems like pure madness. But what if they know something we don't? What if they are riding out an engineered economic crisis so that they can be rewarded later with too woke to fail riches? My theory is that while ESG lending appears to be dying today, tomorrow ESG lending will be the only way any company will be able to survive. It's exactly what I was saying. He goes on to say, I believe that this is exactly what is intended to happen, but it would have to be tied directly to an economic crisis as well as the introduction of digital currencies or central bank digital currencies. So I think I'll leave it there. I'm very thankful to Brandon Smith for writing this article. It really validates what I was saying a few weeks ago. It's great to know that I'm not the only one who suspects that that is what's happening. But what can we do about it? That's something I'll be thinking about as we move forward. And that's how I see it, my friends. Please hit that like button if you've enjoyed the content. It really helps expand the reach of this video. Subscribe to the channel for more. I appreciate all of the support. Leave a comment. Would love to hear what you think. See you soon.